And I get a lot of questions about gear, and some people will always be like, oh, I feel like I'm a bit of a head case. Like, they exist out here too.
Oh yeah. I don't want to get in trouble on camera, but I think there's more head cases out here than in the general public.
It's Tuesday of the Masters. How's it going? And we are not at Augusta National. We're actually across the street. Hey. Where all the tour equipment trucks are. It's a very unique week. Can we highlight this? None of the trucks actually go on site, and we're gonna head in and see what they're up to. What are players kind of looking at dialing in for you guys this week from like the long game perspective?
Yeah, I think at a major, the first thing we do a lot of is grips, loft, lies. You really want to make sure all the work we've done at CPI in the off season, that everything is exactly right. So we'll get all of the players like Justin Thomas through here with that week. And then it's a challenging golf course off the tee. So with that being the case, we have some GT 280s going to play this week to try to push it a little bit farther, where driver might create some unique angles, but 3-wood's a little bit farther back.
Nice.
There's always some tinkering, right? If we had perfect weather Monday through Sunday, then I don't think players would tinker at all. SM10 is the leader in the clubhouse for us. We have 28 stock itums in this line, and then a bunch of fun wedgeworks pieces as well. But you'll see, I mean, they just don't stop. They just keep going and going and going.
At least the benefit you had is your drawers can be smaller because they don't take as much space as a driver.
That's true. Yeah, I've got a little more real estate in here. Justin Thomas is trying a bit of a hybrid wedge in between the K-Star, which is that wider version with the heel toe trailing edge, and then the pre-wear with an A+. So imagine an A+ with the features that are on the K-Star, which is kind of a cool combination. He was talking about how he loves the T, but he's concerned that it might dig, and he loves the K, but feels like it's a little too much width. So we're blending those two together for him. So
gonna make those wedges have a baby?
Yeah. If they were to get together,
Make a baby?
that would be the baby. We'll take here's a K-Star here. I'll show you what this looks like. So you've got a couple different surfaces which I think are interesting. You have this surface here on the front, which is the pre-wear. This is gonna add a layer of bounce in the front. And then you have the trailing edge polishing, which adds versatility, right? So you've got these 3 different surfaces doing work for you. This one here is going to add some bounce, this one here is going to create a skid plate, and this one here is going to add versatility when you open up the face. So it's a pretty unique style sole, right? So if you have a bunch of sand and you want the best of both worlds, I need bounce, I don't want bounce, bang, there you go. And then you take a plus and you go, it looks kind of like a K, right? But it's actually quite a bit more angled bounce. So if a player says, hey, I love this wedge, but I just want more versatility out of it, we can blend the best of both worlds, and we can add some of these things to the back and add some pre-wear to the front to give you, again, more forgiveness here, skid plate here, and versatility here.
It's very cool. That's what I always say, like, great fitters don't just know numbers, great fitters are great communicators, and obviously there's a lot of communication going on.
For sure. I mean, I think what makes us really successful at Titleist is we're terrific listeners.
Cool. Thanks so much.
You got it.
We're here with Adrian, one of the tour techs for TaylorMade, and you're going through the process of just lie lofting a fairway wood here?
I'm actually building a club. I'm building a 7-wood for Jason Day. He plays, I'll give you an idea here. So he plays this, it's a stealth 7-wood. It's at 47.5 in length. Basically, he's looking for a club that goes maybe 5-6 yards further. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to build him a 7-wood. Our new fairway woods are a little stronger than these, so I'm going to build him one which is basically a 6-wood spec. So kind of fill the gap between 5-wood's too far, 7-wood's too short, so it's somewhere in between. And he obviously doesn't want the ball to go left, so instead of going a 5-wood and making it a 6-wood, I'm going to go a 7-wood and make it a 6-wood because it'll keep the the face angle where he likes to see it.
Yeah.
Same shaft, same tipping, same swing weight. I'm just checking this for loft and lie on this Dela Cruz machine. We're probably going to make it about a degree stronger, maybe a fraction flatter because I've gone a little bit longer.
That was going to be my super tech question, was to get that extra distance, is it going to be like lever pulling with a little bit of extra length or a little bit of less loft from the ball speed?
A little bit of everything, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not you're not looking for a lot, but our new fairway woods do have the spin characteristics on those are a little less than this. Just trying to give them the same feels, the same everything, except the ball flight that's just maybe just going half a club further.
Yeah. I guess the nice thing too, when you have that ability, especially with like moving into a newer model, when people are thinking about like, why would I move to a newer model for like any particular reason?
Yeah.
If you have something where you're getting the lower spin profile, now you can keep the same height
100%, yeah.
and height, descent angle, you're able to keep all those things, but you're just basically moving that distance down range in that 5-6 yard range, so the player gets the carry distance, but they see basically the exact same ball flight, right?
Yeah.
When you're trying to hold and hit it to a very small target, being able to have that launch window and also like the land angle coming in the right spot, like you're getting that you're basically building that accuracy to the golf.
Yeah,
ball,
you're
right?
looking for consistency of the numbers as well, right? And that, and, you know, anything that kind of holds the spin like that. So this is basically 59, 19 and a half. It's 59, 19 and a half. I'm probably going to do, you know, I'll probably start the test, getting the, you know, probably do it at like 58 and a half and 19 or 18.75, just that tiny bit stronger. Perfect, mate. So that's 58. We got these molds. So there's a QI 35 7-wood mold. Stick the club in there. Perfect. So what I want to do, just going to make it a little bit stronger, so I'll get the bar on there, just like you would do an iron. So like I say, so I'm trying to make a 7-wood into a 6-wood, 6.5. You always double check, make sure the spec's bang on. So there it is, 58.5 for lie. And then once I get these 2 pins on here, get it to the center of the face, 19, bang on. Have a look at it, make sure it checks all the boxes like that. We'll put it in a 5-wood cover.
Oh, those are pretty. Those are new. I was gonna say you just debuted the bag this week. Got the new covers. As well.
Yeah. So that's a nice thing. Also, every time we build the club here at the Masters, you know, we get special head covers and bags and stuff for the week. So we'll give it to the player with something to remember it by. Yeah.
So we're here on the Cleveland Trixon truck, and you guys have something very cool for players this week who don't want to lug around one of these big, beautiful bags for the par 3 contest. You guys cooked something up pretty special, didn't you?
Yeah, guys always get excited about what bag we're going to come up with themed for the major championships. And this week for the par 3, there's always a wife or a girlfriend or a kid or grandparent, whatever the case may be, that are caddying and want the smaller sort of pencil bag, Sunday bag. So we sort of made a Sunday bag version of our big bag with all the same details, with the brass and the inside of the pockets.
Even the lining. I love the lining of it. I think it's so cool with the flowers.
Yep. So it's been a real hit so far. Guys have been fired up to grab one and fit them out for tomorrow. So
no, they look exciting. So cool. I guess the designers must have a lot of fun with that stuff, right? To be able to kind of go a little bit wild and really show those things off.
It gets whittled down. Right?
I was going to
say.
So
there's a lot of options, and we sort of narrowed into like, hey, this is going to work. So.
It's a Sunday bag with a full-size rain hood. Right? It's pretty good.
That is funny, actually.
We can do just about everything that you can get done in Phoenix here in our trailer. They stock us great with all the shafts from True Temper. We have Fujikura, Graphite Design, Mitsubishi, Acra. I mean, just about everything you're going to see in play, we're going to be able to have here. Our grips, we have them organized by Tour Velvet, but then we also have our player.
Finau.
We have our player grips, which are more specific. Yeah, we have our Tony Finau lambkin with his TF logo. We have the V55 cord for a few of our players, Taylor Moore being the one who started to use it and has made it popular amongst our staff, it seems. So this is our one of our favorite guys, Sahith Theegala, fan favorite. Back in, I believe it was Memphis last year, he was having trouble hitting his 7-iron. He said, I'm missing a lot of shots with my 7-iron. Mentally, I don't want to hit a 7-iron anymore. We were like, okay. He's like, so if I could just have a club, say something else, that would be great. So we said, all right, we took a 7-iron. We had our Pingworks guys, they actually welded in the 7. Then they just ground it down to remove some of the excess metal that was there. And they screen printed it with 8. So now he has a 8+ is what he call it, or the Ocho is how he refers to it. So he goes 4-iron, 5, 6, 8, 9-iron, and that made him happy.
Now, one thing that makes the Masters unique is the par 3 contest.
Oh yeah.
You guys got anything cool for that?
We do. Let's show you.
Oh, sweet.
We'll show you one of our special moonlight bags that we have for the week. We have our little moonlight because you only need a couple clubs for the par 3 contest, and it's a little lighter for the less experienced caddies that you may see at the par 3 contest. And so just our standard moonlight, we did these cool colors to look hopefully look good with the magnolias, the pink colors and things like that. We think that might look pretty
sharp.
nice. But yeah, it's light, it's easy to use, great for playing a little par 3 course, or some people use it for their full bag if they're walking, because you can actually fit a full set in there. It's a little tight, but you can get it in there. Believe it or not, you can put a bunch of clubs in there.
I love the design of this one because it kind of reminds me of like some of the original Moonlights with like the 2 side pockets.
Right.
Cool, I like it. We're digging into like what players are switching into and playing this week at the Masters. And what have you noticed as far as any tweaks being made?
It's pretty typical this week. There's 2 areas of the bag that seem to be the most that there start to be some testing going on, and it's the scoring wedge. So whether it's 58 or 60, there's always maybe some grind adjustment, some bounce adjustment. We've had a few of those, but this whole mini driver fad is it's in.
It's not a fad anymore, right?
It is legit, and we've had. Gracerman, Akshay will have him in play. Nikolai looks like he could consider it again this week, but then Minwoo had one made last week, or yesterday. Xander had one made just in case. It's kind of it's been a common request this week, and normally like a T club isn't like that popular of a change, but I think that extra ball speed and just the forgiveness and ability to turn over for some of these guys that kind of like to see the ball fall right, it seems to be a good option, and so many people are having success with it that it's definitely become a thing.
It's kind of one of those, like, especially for you guys, because compared to the AI Smoke, the previous model, to the new one, you always work with hot melt, like adjusting the internal weighting, but you have the external weighting as well, so you're really able to move that to the perimeter to help players dial in the ball.
Extremely easily. Like
Yeah.
even the people at home can do this, which is the coolest part, because not everybody has access to a glue gun. But what's so cool about Elite is that they do have that access to you can go fade bias, you can go draw bias to keep it neutral. It's the most adjustable mini driver on the market, so it's those guys are taking an advantage. If that draw position helps them turn it over a little bit easier, then that's where it will be. The other nice thing is we actually have options in loft, so 11.5 and 13.5. 13.5 is by far the most played out here.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's because most guys do still need to have that option off the deck. 11.5 is almost like a true mini driver.
Yeah.
That's a little bit tougher to launch off the ground, but it's the same technologies in both.
Well, thanks so much. Thanks for showing us around, dude.
Always.
Appreciate it.
Good. Thanks for stopping by.